The arrival. The vast expanse of space near the Orion Arm crackled with an unexpected energy surge. In the blink of an eye, a massive vessel materialized, its sleek hull gleaming under the light of distant stars. The ESS Horizon, Earth's first interstellar warship, had arrived at the edge of Galactic Council space. On the bridge of the horizon, Captain Ariel Lee stood tall, her dark eyes fixed on the main view screen. The ship's AI, NOVA, Neural Operating Virtual Assistant, announced, "Captain, we've successfully emerged from hyperspace. All systems nominal." Lee nodded, a hint of a smile playing on her lips. "Excellent. Status report on our location. We are approximately 2.1 light-years from the nearest Galactic Council outpost." NOVA responded. "No immediate threats detected." The bridge crew worked diligently at their stations, a mix of excitement and tension palpable in the air. Humanity had kept its rapid technological advancements secret for decades, and now they were about to announce their presence to the galactic community in the most dramatic way possible. Lieutenant Commander Zora Chen, the ship's tactical officer, spoke up. "Captain, I'm detecting multiple energy signatures consistent with Galactic Council patrol vessels. They're on an intercept course." Lee's smile widened. "Right on schedule. Let's give them a show they won't forget. Shields up, but weapons remain powered down. We're here to make an impression, not start a war." As the horizon glided gracefully through space, its very presence sent shockwaves through the Galactic Council. On the nearest Council outpost, alarms blared, and confusion reigned. Grand Overseer Xalax, a towering reptilian with iridescent scales, stared at the holographic display in disbelief. "Impossible," he hissed. "The humans are centuries away from this level of technology. This must be some trick." His aide, a slender, crystalline being named Lyra, approached cautiously. "Overseer, the energy readings are off the charts. Whatever that ship is, it's beyond anything in our database." Xalax's eyes narrowed, a mix of fear and anger evident in his voice. "Contact the High Council immediately. We may have a first-class crisis on our hands." Back on the horizon, Lee watched as the Council ships approached. They were impressive in their own right, sleek and obviously advanced, but they paled in comparison to the human Dreadnought. "Open a channel to the lead Council vessel," Lee ordered. "Channel open, Captain." NOVA responded. Lee cleared her throat and spoke clearly, her voice carrying the weight of humanity's hopes and ambitions. "Attention Council vessels, this is Captain Ariel Lee of the Earth Spaceship Horizon. We come in peace, seeking diplomatic relations with the Galactic Council." There was a long pause before a response came through. The alien voice was tinged with a mix of awe and suspicion. "Human vessel, this is Commander Vrex of the Galactic Council Defense Force. Your presence here is unexpected and potentially in violation of multiple treaties. Please power down your engines and prepare to be boarded." Lee chuckled softly. "I'm afraid that won't be possible, Commander. We're here to negotiate as equals, not as subjects. Perhaps we could arrange a meeting on neutral ground." The silence that followed was deafening. On the Council ships, panic was setting in. The humans, long considered a primitive species barely worth monitoring, had suddenly appeared with technology that rivaled or even surpassed their own. Commander Vrex's voice came through again, this time with a noticeable tremor. "Stand by, Horizon. We need to consult with our superiors." As the Council ships held their position, clearly unsure of how to proceed, Lee turned to her crew. "Well done, everyone. Phase 1 of Operation Starfall is complete. Now let's see how the galaxy reacts to humanity's grand entrance." Dr. Ilara Voss, the ship's chief scientist, approached Lee with a tablet in hand. "Captain, I've been analyzing the Council ships. Their technology is impressive, but there are clear vulnerabilities we could exploit if needed." Lee nodded, her expression serious. "Let's hope it doesn't come to that, Doctor. We're here to establish our place in the galactic community, not conquer it. But it's good to know we have the edge if things go south. As the hours ticked by, the tension in space continued to build. The horizon remained a silent, imposing presence while the Galactic Council scrambled to decide how to handle this unexpected development. In the depths of Council space, the High Council convened an emergency session. Representatives from dozens of species argued and debated, their voices rising in a cacophony of alien languages. High Counselor Genva, a wise and ancient being of pure energy, finally called for order. Fellow counselors, we face an unprecedented situation. The humans, whom we have long dismissed, have arrived on our doorstep with technology that challenges our supremacy. We must decide, and decide quickly, how to respond. As the council debated, back on the horizon, Captain Lee prepared for the next phase of humanity's plan. She gazed out at the stars, her mind racing with possibilities. Whatever came next, the galaxy would never be the same. Humanity had arrived, and they were here to stay. In the ship's mess hall, off-duty crew members gathered, their conversations a mix of excitement and nervous energy. Ensign Maya Patel, fresh out of the academy, turned to her friend, Lieutenant Jack Harper. "Do you think they'll accept us, Jack, or are we looking at a war?" Harper shrugged, his usual cocky grin replaced by a thoughtful frown. "Hard to say, Maya. We've got the tech to stand our ground, that's for sure. But the captain's smart. She'll find a way to make this work without bloodshed if she can." As if on cue, Captain Lee's voice came over the ship-wide comm system. "Attention all hands. We've received word that the Galactic Council is willing to meet with us. A delegation will be departing for their central hub in 1 hour. Stand ready. And remember, each of you represents not just this ship, but all of humanity. Let's show the galaxy what we're made of." A cheer went up from the crew. The next chapter in human history was about to be written, and they were on the front lines. As the horizon hung in space, a silent sentinel of Earth's newfound power, the crew prepared to face whatever challenges the stars might bring. The galaxy held its breath, waiting to see what these upstart humans would do next. First contact and tensions. The sleek shuttle departed from the ESS Horizon, carrying Captain Aria Lee and her diplomatic team towards the imposing structure of the Galactic Council's central hub. The massive space station, a marvel of alien engineering, loomed before them, its crystalline spires and twisting corridors a testament to the combined technological prowess of 100 species. As they approached, Lee couldn't help but feel a surge of pride. Humanity had come so far in such a short time, and now they stood on the precipice of a new era. Beside her, Dr. Ilara Voss fidgeted with her datapad, her excitement barely contained. "This is incredible," Captain Voss whispered. "The amount of scientific knowledge we could gain from this encounter alone is staggering." Lee nodded, her expression a mask of calm determination. "Remember, Doctor, we're here to establish diplomatic relations first. Your curiosity will have to wait." The shuttle docked with a soft thud, and as the airlock cycled, Lee took a deep breath. "All right, team. Let's make history." As they stepped into the council hub, they were immediately struck by the diversity of life forms surrounding them. Beings of all shapes, sizes, and compositions moved through the corridors, some floating, others slithering, many walking on varying numbers of appendages. A tall, willowy being with iridescent skin approached them, flanked by 2 hulking, armored guards. "Welcome to the Galactic Council Central Hub, humans. I am Silith, Chief Diplomat of the Council. Please, follow me." As they made their way through the twisting corridors, Lee could feel the eyes of countless aliens upon them. Some gazes were curious, others wary, and a few openly hostile. The tension in the air was palpable. They were led into a vast chamber, its domed ceiling adorned with holographic representations of star systems. Around a circular table sat representatives from dozens of species, their attention now fixed squarely on the human delegation. High Counselor Genva's energy form pulsed at the head of the table. "Captain Aria Lee of Earth, welcome. Your arrival has caused quite a stir among our members." Lee bowed respectfully. "Thank you for agreeing to this meeting, High Counselor. We understand our presence is unexpected, but we hope it can lead to positive relations between humanity and the Galactic Council." Before Genva could respond, a booming voice cut through the chamber. "Positive relations. You arrive unannounced in a warship and speak of positive relations." Grand Overseer Xalax pushed through the crowd, his scales shimmering with agitation. Dr. Voss stepped forward, her voice calm and measured. "Overseer, the Horizon is an exploration vessel designed for deep space travel and first contact scenarios. Its defensive capabilities are merely a precaution in unknown territory." Xalax's eyes narrowed. "A precaution that violates numerous treaties and regulations." "Treaties? I might add that your species was not advanced enough to be part of." The chamber erupted in applause. Lee sat stunned, overwhelmed by the magnitude of the moment. A permanent seat on the High Council was an honor beyond anything they had hoped for when they first set out on the Horizon. As the motion was formally proposed and seconded, Lee found herself called upon to speak. She stood, feeling the weight of every human who had ever looked up at the stars with wonder. "Esteemed members of the Council," she began, her voice steady and clear. "On behalf of Earth and all of humanity, I am deeply honored by this proposal. When we first arrived in Council space, we came seeking acceptance and partnership. What we have found is so much more. A family of diverse species, united in the pursuit of knowledge and progress." She paused, looking around the chamber at the faces and other sensory organs of beings from across the galaxy. "We have much to learn from all of you, and we hope that we can continue to contribute to our shared future. The stars have always called to humanity, urging us to explore, to discover, to grow. Now, thanks to all of you, we can answer that call together." As Lee concluded her speech, the chamber filled with thunderous applause. The vote was a formality. The decision had already been made in the hearts and minds of the Council members. Later, as Lee stood on the balcony of the Earth Embassy, looking out at the glittering expanse of the galactic capital, she felt a profound sense of accomplishment and anticipation. Humanity had not only found its place among the stars, but had helped to reshape the very fabric of galactic society. Dr. Voss joined her, handing her a glass of champagne. "To new beginnings," she said, raising her glass. Lee smiled, clinking her glass against Voss's, "and to the endless possibilities that lie ahead." As they stood there, watching the twin suns of Alpha Centauri sink below the horizon, Lee knew that this was just the beginning. The galaxy was vast, full of wonders and dangers yet undiscovered. But now, united with their new allies, humanity was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The ESS Horizon, docked in the orbital shipyard above, stood as a symbol of how far they had come. But it was also a promise of further journeys, of new discoveries, of a future brighter than they had ever imagined. As night fell on the galactic capital, ships of all shapes and sizes streaked across the sky, each one carrying beings united in a common purpose. And among them, preparing for its next great adventure, was a sleek vessel bearing the insignia of Earth, ready to carry humanity's spirit of exploration and cooperation to the farthest reaches of the cosmos. The new era had dawned, and the greatest adventure in human history was just beginning. As they parted ways, neither noticed the small, spider-like drone clinging to the ceiling above them, its cameras and microphones capturing every word. Back on the horizon, in a secure communications room, Lieutenant Harper watched the feed with growing alarm. "Captain," he said into his comm, "I think you need to see this. We may have a bigger problem than we realized." The stage was set for a galactic drama unlike any other. Humanity's future among the stars hung in the balance, and the actions of Captain Lee and her crew in the coming days would determine the fate of not just Earth, but the entire Galactic Council. The universe held its breath, waiting to see what would unfold next. Conspiracy unveiled. As the second day of negotiations dawned, Captain Aria Lee found herself in a secure communication room aboard the ESS Horizon, her face grim as she watched the footage Lieutenant Harper had discovered. "This changes everything," she muttered, her mind racing with the implications. "Nenova, analyze the footage. I want to know everything about these conspirators, species, affiliations, potential motives." "Analyzing, Captain," the AI responded. "Preliminary results suggest the hooded figure belongs to the Shroud Collective, a secretive faction known for manipulating galactic politics from the shadows." Lee's eyes narrowed. "And Xylith, our supposed diplomatic liaison." Xylith's involvement suggests infiltration at the highest levels of the Galactic Council, Nelvia replied. "Caution is advised in all further interactions." Lee nodded, her jaw set with determination. "All right, we need to play this smart. Harper, I want you to continue monitoring all communications. Chen, discreetly beef up our security protocols. And someone get Dr. Voss up here. We're going to need her expertise." As the team assembled, Lee laid out the situation. "We've uncovered a conspiracy that goes beyond simple xenophobia or fear of our technology. There's an organized effort to sabotage human-alien relations and maintain the current power structure in the galaxy." Dr. Voss, her usual excitement tempered by the gravity of the situation, spoke up. "But why? What could they possibly gain by keeping humanity isolated?" "Control," Chen answered, her tactical mind already analyzing the possibilities. "If we're allowed to integrate into the galactic community, we could upset the balance of power. Some factions might see us as a threat to their dominance." Lee nodded. "Exactly. And now we have to navigate these negotiations while uncovering the full extent of this conspiracy. We can't tip our hand too soon, or we risk losing any chance of proving our claims." As they strategized, the Horizon received an incoming transmission from the Council hub. "High Counselor," Genva's energy form shimmered on the view screen. "Captain Lee, the Council is ready to reconvene. We have concerns we wish to address." "Understood, Counselor. We'll be there shortly," Lee responded, her voice betraying none of the turmoil she felt. As the transmission ended, she turned to her team. "All right, people. Let's go unravel the conspiracy." Back in the council chamber, the atmosphere was even tenser than before. Species that had been allies for centuries now regarded each other with suspicion, the human presence acting as a catalyst for long-buried resentments and fears. As Lee and her team took their seats, Grand Overseer Xalax wasted no time in launching his attack. "We've analyzed the data from your ship, Captain. The energy output, the technological advancements, they're simply impossible for a species at your stage of development. You must have had outside help. Who gave you this technology?" Lee met his accusatory glare with a calm demeanor. "I assure you, Overseer, every advancement on the Horizon is the result of human ingenuity and determination. We've simply taken a different path in our technological evolution." Zarkol, the avian scientist, leaned forward, his feathers ruffling with curiosity. "But how? The jump from your known level of technology to this is unprecedented." Dr. Voss stepped in, her voice steady as she explained. "Necessity, Zarkol. Earth faced numerous crises over the past century. Climate change, resource depletion, overpopulation. We were forced to innovate or perish. Our advancements came not from outside help, but from the very human traits of adaptability and perseverance." As the debate raged on, Lee kept a careful eye on Xylith, noting the subtle signals the diplomat was sending to various council members. She caught Chen's eye, a silent communication passing between them. Chen nodded imperceptibly and slipped out of the chamber. Hours passed, filled with heated arguments, thinly veiled threats, and moments of genuine curiosity about human achievements. Throughout it all, Lee and her team carefully maneuvered the conversation, dropping hints about their knowledge of internal council politics, watching for reactions. As the session neared its end, a commotion outside the chamber drew everyone's attention. Lieutenant Commander Chen burst in, her face flushed with exertion. Apologies for the interruption, but we have an emergency situation. We've detected a massive energy buildup in a nearby system. If our readings are correct, it could destabilize the entire sector. The council erupted into chaos. Selax's voice boomed above the din. This is clearly a human ploy. They're trying to distract us from their true intentions. Lee stood, her voice cutting through the noise. Counselors, I assure you, this is no ploy. We're as surprised by this development as you are. But right now, finger-pointing won't solve anything. We need to act, and quickly if we're to prevent a catastrophe. High Counselor Genva's form pulsed rapidly. What do you propose, Captain Lee? A joint mission. Lee responded without hesitation. Your ships, our technology. We'll investigate this anomaly together and hopefully prevent disaster. In doing so, we can prove our intentions are peaceful and our capabilities genuine. The council chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Finally, Zarkol spoke up. I support this proposal. It's time we see what these humans can truly do. Slowly, other council members began to nod in agreement. Even Selax, though clearly unhappy, couldn't argue against the need for immediate action. As the council hurried to organize the joint mission, Lee pulled her team aside. This is our chance, she whispered. Whatever's causing that energy buildup, I'd bet my last credit it's connected to our conspirators. We find the source, we might just unravel this whole plot. Dr. Voss's eyes widened. You think they'd risk destabilizing an entire sector? To maintain their power? Absolutely, Chen answered grimly. Lee nodded. Exactly. So let's go save some lives and expose some traitors while we're at it. As they rushed back to the horizon to prepare for the mission, none of them noticed the small, spider-like drone scuttling along the ceiling, its red light blinking ominously. In a hidden chamber deep within the council hub, the hooded figure from before watched the unfolding events on a holographic display. They're more clever than we anticipated, a distorted voice mused. Perhaps it's time we accelerated our plans. Sheelith's hologram appeared, his usually calm demeanor shaken. But the energy core isn't stable yet. If we activate it now, then parts of the sector may be lost. The hooded figure cut in. A regrettable but necessary sacrifice. We cannot allow these humans to upset the balance we've worked so hard to maintain. As the conspiracy deepened and the stakes rose ever higher, the ESF horizon and a flotilla of council ships prepared to jump into the unknown. The fate of not just human-alien relations, but entire star systems now hung in the balance. The galaxy watched with bated breath as humanity faced its greatest test yet. Would they emerge as saviors, or would the conspirators succeed in painting them as a threat to galactic stability? The next few hours would determine the course of interstellar history for generations to come. Battle for acceptance. The ESF horizon led the joint fleet as they emerged from hyperspace into the Vega Proxima system, the source of the mysterious energy buildup. Captain Ariel Lee stood on the bridge, her eyes scanning the tactical display as data streamed in from the ship's advanced sensors. Nito VA, report, she commanded, her voice tense with anticipation. The AG's calm voice filled the bridge. Energy readings are off the charts, Captain. The source appears to be a massive artificial structure in orbit around the system's third planet. As the structure came into view on the main screen, gasps of astonishment echoed across the bridge. It was a colossal ring, easily the size of a small moon, pulsing with an otherworldly blue energy. By the stars, Dr. Voss whispered, her scientific curiosity overriding her apprehension. It's like nothing I've ever seen. Before anyone could respond, a transmission came through from one of the council ships. Zarkol's avian features filled the screen, his feathers ruffled with excitement and fear. Captain Lee, are you seeing this? Our readings suggest that structure is generating enough power to tear a hole in the fabric of space-time. Lee nodded grimly. We're seeing it, Zarkol. Any ideas on its purpose? Nothing concrete, but Zarkol's response was cut short as a barrage of energy beams lanced out from the ring structure, striking several council ships and causing significant damage. "Evasive maneuvers," Lee shouted. "Shields up, all hands to battle stations." As the Horizon smoothly dodged the incoming fire, Lee's mind raced. This had to be connected to the conspiracy they'd uncovered. But why attack now? What was the endgame? "Captain," Chen called out, her hands flying over the tactical console. "I'm detecting multiple ships emerging from behind the planet. They don't match any known Galactic Council designs." Lee's eyes narrowed. "It seems our hidden players have decided to show their hand. Open a channel to the fleet." As the channel opened, Lee's voice rang out clear and determined. "This is Captain Lee to all ships. We are facing an unknown enemy with technology that rivals our own. But together, we stand a chance. Council ships, focus on defending against the enemy fleet. The Horizon will approach the ring structure and attempt to shut it down." There was a moment of hesitation before responses began flooding in, council captains pledging their support. Even Grand Overseer Xalax's voice came through, grudging respect evident in his tone. "We'll buy you the time you need, human. Don't make us regret this trust." As the battle erupted around them, the Horizon pushed forward towards the massive ring. Enemy ships swarmed around them, their weapons leaving scorch marks on the Horizon's advanced shields. "Shields at 78% and holding," Chen reported. "But we can't take this punishment forever." Lee nodded. "NanoVA, analyze that structure. Find me a weak point." As the AI worked, Dr. Voss approached Lee, her eyes wide with realization. "Captain, I think I know what this is. It's a massive quantum teleportation device. If activated, it could instantly transport an entire invasion fleet anywhere in the galaxy." The implications hit Lee like a physical blow. This wasn't just about keeping humanity isolated. It was about reshaping the entire power structure of the galaxy in one fell swoop. "Captain," NanoVA interrupted, "I've identified a potential weakness. The ring's power core is unstable. A precisely targeted strike could cause a cascade failure, shutting down the entire structure." Lee's jaw set with determination. "Plot a course, full speed ahead. Chen, prepare the main cannon. We'll only get one shot at this." As the Horizon weaved through the chaos of battle, Lee opened a channel to the Council fleet. "All ships, this is Captain Lee. We've identified the threat and have a plan to neutralize it, but we'll need covering fire. Everything you've got, focused on our vector." To her surprise, it was Xalax who responded first. "You heard the human. All ships, clear a path for the Horizon. Today, we fight as one." The combined firepower of the Council fleet carved a path through the enemy armada, allowing the Horizon to slip through. As they approached the ring, enemy fire intensified, the Horizon's shields flickering under the assault. "We're within range," Chen called out, "but our shields are failing. We fire, and we'll be exposed." Lee's eyes met each of her crew members in turn, seeing the same resolve reflected back at her. "It's a risk we have to take. For Earth, for the Council, for the entire galaxy." Fire. The Horizon's main cannon roared to life, a lance of pure energy streaking towards the ring's power core. For a heart-stopping moment, nothing happened. Then, with a silent flash that seemed to dim the stars themselves, the ring began to collapse in on itself. "Get us out of here. Maximum thrust," Lee ordered. As the Horizon sped away, the ring imploded, releasing a shockwave that rocked every ship in the system. When the view screens cleared, where the massive structure once stood was nothing but debris. A cheer went up across the Council fleet as the remaining enemy ships fled or surrendered. The battle was over. Humanity had proved its worth in the face of an overwhelming threat. In the aftermath, as damaged ships were tended to and prisoners interrogated, the full scope of the conspiracy came to light. A faction of extremists from various species, fearful of change and determined to maintain their grip on power, had orchestrated the entire crisis. Back in the Council chambers, The atmosphere was markedly different. Gone was the hostility and suspicion, replaced by a newfound respect and cautious optimism. High Counselor Genva's energy form pulsed warmly as she addressed the assembly. Captain Lee, on behalf of the Galactic Council, I extend our deepest gratitude. Your actions have not only saved countless lives, but have opened our eyes to the potential of cooperation between our peoples. Lee bowed her head respectfully. Thank you, Counselor. We came here seeking acceptance and partnership. I hope our actions have demonstrated that humanity is ready to join the galactic community as full and equal members. Zarkol stepped forward, excitement evident in his voice. I propose we establish a joint scientific commission immediately. The advancements we could make together are limitless. Even Salax, his earlier hostility gone, nodded in agreement. Your ship and crew have impressed me, Captain. Perhaps we judged Earth too hastily. As the Council erupted into enthusiastic discussion about humanity's inclusion and the new opportunities it presented, Lee allowed herself a small smile. They had faced trial by fire and emerged victorious. The path forward would not be easy, but the first crucial steps had been taken. Earth, and humanity as a whole, was about to enter a new era, an era of interstellar cooperation, scientific advancement, and untold possibilities. As Lee looked out at the assembled alien representatives, she felt a swell of pride. Humanity had not only found its place among the stars, but had already begun to shape the very future of the galaxy. The battle for acceptance was over. Now, the real work of building a brighter, united future could begin. A new era dawns. In the months following the Battle of Vega Proxima, the galaxy underwent a transformation unlike any in recent memory. The revelation of the conspiracy and humanity's pivotal role in thwarting it had sent shockwaves through every level of galactic society. As the dust settled, a new order began to emerge, one that promised a future of unprecedented cooperation and progress. Captain Aria Lee stood at the observation deck of the newly constructed Earth Embassy on Alpha Centauri, the Galactic Council's capital world. The sprawling metropolis below was a testament to the incredible diversity of life in the universe, and now, finally, humanity had its place among the stars. Quite a view, isn't it? Came a familiar voice. Lee turned to see Dr. Ilara Voss approaching, a datapad in hand and an excited gleam in her eye. Lee smiled. It certainly is. Sometimes I still can't believe we're really here. Well, believe it, Voss replied with a grin, and wait until you see the latest reports from the Joint Scientific Commission. The breakthroughs we're making by combining our quantum fold technology with Zarkol's trans-dimensional theories are nothing short of revolutionary. Before Lee could respond, her comm unit chimed. Captain Lee, your presence is requested in the council chambers, came in OVA's voice. Duty calls, Lee sighed. Care to join me, Doctor? I have a feeling this meeting might be right up your alley. As they made their way through the winding corridors of the council hub, Lee couldn't help but marvel at how much had changed. Species that once eyed humans with suspicion now greeted them warmly. The air was charged with an energy of possibility and hope. The council chamber, once a place of tense negotiations, had been transformed into a collaborative space. Representatives from hundreds of worlds mingled freely, sharing ideas and forging new alliances. High Counselor Genva's energy form pulsed brightly as Lee and Voss entered. Ah, Captain, Doctor, thank you for joining us. We have exciting developments to discuss. As they took their seats, Lee noticed Grand Overseer Salax nodding respectfully in their direction. The once hostile alien had become one of humanity's strongest advocates in recent months. Esteemed colleagues, Genva began, thanks to the combined efforts of our scientists, led in large part by the brilliant work of Dr. Voss and Zarkol, we stand on the brink of a new age of exploration. A holographic display sprang to life in the center of the chamber, showing a map of the known galaxy. Genva continued, the adaptation of human quantum fold technology has opened up vast new regions of space for exploration. Areas once thought unreachable are now within our grasp. Excited murmurs filled the chamber. Selak stepped forward, his scales shimmering with anticipation. Moreover, the human concept of a united planetary government has inspired many of our member worlds to set aside old rivalries. We are stronger together than we ever were apart. Lee felt a swell of pride. Earth's journey to unity had been long and often painful, but it had prepared them for this moment, for taking their place in a galactic community. Zarkol, his feathers ruffling with excitement, spoke next. But perhaps most exciting are the advancements in medicine and biotechnology. The human genome's adaptability, combined with our own diverse biological knowledge, has led to cures for diseases once thought incurable. As the council members discussed the myriad ways in which human integration had revolutionized galactic society, Lee found her mind wandering to the future. What new wonders and challenges awaited them in the unexplored reaches of space? Her thoughts were interrupted as Genva called for attention once more. "There is one final matter to discuss," the High Counselor announced. "In light of their contributions and the spirit of unity they have fostered, I propose that we offer humanity a permanent seat on the High Council." The chamber erupted in murmurs and exclamations. Lee raised her hand, silencing the crowd with her commanding presence. "Overseer, with all due respect, those treaties were made without our input or consent. Humanity has grown beyond the limitations imposed upon us by outside forces. We're here to establish new agreements as equals." High Counselor Genva's form flickered, a sign of unease. "Captain Lee, while we appreciate your willingness to negotiate, you must understand the position you've put us in. Your ship's capabilities far exceed what we believed possible for your species. Many here see it as a threat." Lee's expression remained neutral, but her eyes flashed with determination. "We understand your concerns, Counselor. That's why we've come openly, seeking dialogue rather than conflict. Humanity has much to offer the Galactic Council: advanced medical techniques, revolutionary energy systems, and breakthroughs in faster-than-light travel, to name a few." The mention of FTL advancements sent another wave of murmurs through the crowd. A tall, avian being with iridescent feathers stepped forward. "I am Zarkol of the Technological Exchange Committee. Captain, are you saying humans have improved upon existing hyperspace technology?" Dr. Voss nodded, a hint of pride in her voice. "Indeed, Zarkol. Our quantum fold drive allows for near-instantaneous travel across vast distances with minimal energy expenditure. It's part of the reason we were able to arrive undetected." The revelation sent shockwaves through the assembly. Some representatives looked intrigued, others terrified. Selax's scales buzzed furiously. "This is preposterous. You expect us to believe that a species we considered primitive mere decades ago has suddenly leapfrogged centuries of our scientific progress." Lieutenant Commander Chen, who had remained silent until now, spoke up, her voice carrying the hint of warning. "With respect, Overseer, your disbelief doesn't change the facts. We're here, aren't we? And we came in peace, despite having the means to do otherwise." The implied threat wasn't lost on anyone. The chamber fell silent, the tension thick enough to cut with a knife. High Counselor Genva's form pulsed rapidly, a sign of deep thought. "Captain Lee, while we appreciate your peaceful intentions, you must understand that your arrival has upset the delicate balance we've maintained for millennia. We need time to discuss and consider the implications of your presence." Lee nodded, her posture relaxing slightly. "We understand, Counselor. We're prepared to give you the time you need. In the meantime, perhaps we could arrange for a scientific exchange. A show of good faith to demonstrate that we're here as potential allies, not conquerors." Zarkol's feathers ruffled with excitement at the suggestion, but before he could speak, Phalax interjected, "Absolutely not. We cannot allow potential hostile forces access to our technology or facilities." "Overseer," Lee said, her patience wearing thin, "if we wanted your technology, we wouldn't ask. We're offering to share ours. Surely that counts for something." The council chamber erupted into heated discussions once again. Species that had been at peace for generations now eyed each other with suspicion, wondering who might align with the newly arrived humans. As the debates raged on, Dr. Voss leaned close to Captain Lee. "This isn't going as smoothly as we hoped," she whispered. Lee's lips quirked in a small smile. "On the contrary, Ilara, it's going exactly as we expected. Change is never easy, especially for those who've grown comfortable with the status quo. But they'll adapt. They have to." Back on the horizon, Lieutenant Commander Chen monitored the diplomatic proceedings with growing concern. "Nino VA," she addressed the ship's eye. "What are the chances of this situation escalating to armed conflict?" No VA's smooth voice filled the bridge. "Based on current diplomatic tensions and historical data, the probability of armed conflict within the next 48 hours stands at 63.7%. Chen's jaw tightened. "Let's hope the captain can talk them down. But just in case, run a level 3 diagnostic on all weapon systems. If this goes south, we need to be ready." As the first day of negotiations drew to a close, the galaxy stood on a knife's edge. Humanity had made its grand entrance, but the question remained: would it lead to a new era of cooperation, or plunge the stars into war? In a quiet corner of the council hub, away from the prying eyes of other species, Kylith met with a hooded figure. "The humans are more advanced than we anticipated," Kylith whispered. "This complicates matters." The hooded figure nodded. "Indeed, but it also presents an opportunity. Continue to sow discord among the council members. We may yet turn this to our advantage."